Hello, everyone. It's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to talk about Saucy Santana, aka Justin Harris, and the tweets that were brought up from his old tweets that were brought up, where he was talking about little kids. So that's why you have the picture says versus the little kids versus Saucy Santana for no reason actually. Because that should have been no reason why you should be talking about children as a grown person. Because when he put these tweets out, he was like 20 years old. I'm not going to go over the tweets. If you want to find them, if you didn't know, you'll find them, what he said. But he was talking about Blue Ivy's hair, which has been a topic of discussion for like 9 to 10 years, ever since the girl's been born. And then he was talking about Cardi B's daughter. Yeah, so he was talking about kids, and you don't know whatever else he was talking about. Who knows? But he was the makeup artist for City Girls, and even them, Young Miami, JT, allegedly were talking about people too. And now they are in the industry with the people that they were talking about, and they would desire or would want or have to work with certain people, and now it's come to find out that they was talking about people. So that's why you have to be careful what you're saying. If you put in the work out there, if you don't give up, eventually one day you will make it. You will make a name for yourself. Just be careful. Stuff from your past don't come and mess up those opportunities. So with Beyonce, she's not going to go on a live and then curse people out, tell people off. She's not going to, do interviews or whatever. But most of the time she won't do an interview. You won't hear anything about it. But sometimes she would put it in her music or in her at a concert or whatever. But she's not gonna do anything. Or maybe a picture or something, and people assume that that's a clapback. But we don't know. Like this picture here with Jay-Z and Blue Ivy at one of the finals games. And this is the picture right here. So allegedly this was the clap back, for her hair. Beautiful, beautiful. She's always had beautiful hair anyway. She's always had beautiful hair. But just, it's a different style. As you can see, she's gotten older and much more beautiful. So that was the alleged clapback. But with the Carters, you won't ever know, because they won't ever come out and say anything. That's the way they are. But one thing that many people have talked about this, but one thing I have not heard, to my knowledge, people have said, we know first impression is everything. No one is above first impression, no matter how much money you have, how much fame and status, who you know, where you live. Nobody's above first impression. And not only that, whatever image you put out there, though you may have had a good first impression, but there's an image, maybe a negative image. And we know, if you stepping out with your children a certain way, dressed a certain way, or their hair a certain way, that is like considered a negative image. And if we put whatever negative image we put out there, though we may have came out with a good first impression or started off with a good image, but if we keep on coming out there with a negative image, that's what people are going to run with. And I don't believe it was done intentionally, but I believe it was done on the foundation or on the strength that, hey, I'm Beyonce, he's Jay-Z, superstar, power couple, or whatever. If I don't have the time to do her hair, or maybe she don't want to do her hair, people would accept it. But that didn't happen. And we know in the Black community, especially Black community, we have been programmed for years, that our hair was not good, skin color was not good, nothing like that. Now we have products and people that, celebrate their hair, and those people are celebrated in the media, but we didn't have that before. It was always straight hair that was celebrated. And even with the black community, if you have some type of altercation with the person, whether it's a man or woman, before they're gonna tell you all kind of stuff in a book, but you better believe one of them they're gonna call you nappy head, because they always, that's like always a way to make you feel bad about yourself, shut you up or whatever. So this is the reason why, you know, a lot of black people are obsessed about the hair. And they put the image. Yes, she had some pictures, as you're gonna see in the clips that I'm gonna show. She had some pictures of, you know, when she was the baby with her hair done, but then afterwards it was not. And yes, people probably don't want to say it because she's Queen Bee, Beyonce or whatever, but that's why people were talking about, not saying it was right. Of course not, is not right. You know, that shouldn't be a topic of people, but other races of people can have their children's hair any type of way. You don't hear anything about it, or it's not like a big topic. They might mention it, but it's when black kids have their hair a certain way, then it's all over the news. It's in the blogs. It's whatever, and it's not only media, white media or whatever media. It's us black people that push this thing out there. And of course, you know, other races of media, they pick up the story because we put it out there. As black people, we are the ones that do this to each other. We are the ones. This blue ivy hair topic is black people that put it out there, that was talking about and pointing it out, and different things like that. That's why it took life. So here are some pictures. So we have this picture right here, cute baby, same type of dress, same color dress. And then we have this one when she was a little baby. And then we have her right here. You know, the hair is not, it's just in the fro. And this is another one. And there's a whole lot of them. And you see they have several. And you can tell, you see them as pictures, you can tell people, whoever these paparazzi was, they were actually intentionally looking to take pictures of her hair at this point, you know. These are other ones, and all these are different pictures, except for this one that came up again. But you see, they definitely zoomed in on her hair. So as you see the pictures there, yes, when she was a little baby, you know, she still had her baby hair, and it was being done. But then afterwards, when she started getting a little older and like toddler, the hair was not being done, and looked like the texture of her hair changed too. And it could be different factors. Maybe it was not consistently being done, or sometimes, you know, you used a product and it completely changes the texture of the child's hair, and it may have been manageable, but then after you use this certain product, it becomes more unmanageable. But the majority of the pictures of Blue Ivy as a child was her hair not being done. Yes, she had pictures of her hair being done, but the majority of that people pushed. I mean, they would, as I said, the paparazzi intentionally, some of these people intentionally zoomed in just to take a picture, zoomed in or took a picture of her when her hair was undone. And lesson to be learned from this: nobody is above a negative image. You cannot put a negative image out there and think that, you know, you probably get a pass because of who you are or the money that you have, or even a first impression, because that might have been somebody's first impression of her, seeing her like that. So nobody's above a first impression. So we should always, you know, especially with us and our children, always strive to look our best, do our best. And of course, that's not going to stop people from saying something, because your child or you may have your hair done real good, you have nice clothes, and people still going to find stuff to say about. But that has nothing to do with you. That's something's wrong with that person. but I'm not going to give you ammunition to talk about me. I'm not going to give you ammunition against me, against my child. But people, of course, people still going to talk about it, because look at the girl now, her hair is done nicely done. And then people still talking crap, saying it's a wig and different things like that. So you're never gonna be able to be satisfied. You satisfy people, never. If you try to satisfy people, or somebody say this, then you change it. Somebody say that, you I don't know what life you gonna live. But anyway, and it could be the fact that, hey, her hair texture changed. It was not the way that it was before. It probably became less manageable, and she didn't want to. Some kids don't like to do their hair. There are some kids, there's some little girls, some little boys that you have to do their hair. They don't like to do their hair. So some people, they just let them be, which is not really a good thing, because if you're teaching your child already, hey, if I don't want to do something that I'm supposed to do as a child, if I just cry or I whine or I run away and then I get away with it, that's not a good thing that you're teaching your child. Not saying that they did it, but that's something I'm just putting out there. Because my sister has 10 kids, and she does all of the hair. If you see their hair is a mess, that means they're home, they're not going nowhere. But as she's stepping out, all of her hair kits is done nicely closed, because of course people are waiting to say stuff, because she has 10 kids, because that's not normal in society. Everybody has one or two, and sometimes people with the one or two, is difficult to even take care of them, and then people wondering how you take care of all these kids. But God doesn't give you stuff that you can't handle. Okay. And she has one of her daughters. She didn't like to do hair. She didn't like to do hair. She had to take a family effort to get this girl to do hair. She still doesn't like it, but she stays. She doesn't cry and complain and try to run away before. She stays, because at the end, when her hair is done, everybody's going to compliment her, because to get her to do it, my sister was doing her hair. The dad had to literally stand in front of her and say, you're going to sit there and you're not going to go nowhere until your mom is finished with your hair. And then when her hair is done, all the brothers and sisters would come and say, oh my goodness, you look so pretty, your hair is nice. And then that's what got her to stay, so she could do her hair. And it's very important for you to have that male figure sometimes in the home. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, because it took everybody's effort to get her hair done, because she would not do it before. And this is why many of these out of order women that are telling women that you don't need a man, it's a big mistake, that you're doing people a disservice, a great evil. Because sometimes certain stuff you need to get done, you need that male figure, you need that male authority. But I do have I do know this young lady I used to know. Her mom was a single mother. She didn't like to get her hair done either, and her mom was trying to figure, but her mom didn't want her to get away with it, walking around with her hair undone. So her mom would do her hair while her hair is wet with conditioner. And that's how her hair would get done, so she doesn't cry or whatever it be, which is really not a good idea, because when you do the hair while it's wet, it frizzes easily. It frizzes very quickly, because it was wet. It wasn't completely dry when you did the hair. But that was her way of getting her to get her hair done. So sometimes it takes an effort to do this, but nobody is above first impression. Nobody is above you can't push a negative image of there and think you're going to get away with. But obviously, this family learned from that, because as she had twins. You rarely see any pictures of the twins. I think that's like maybe a handful compared to the amount of pictures that Blue Ivy had. It's not a lot of pictures of twins. So she learned, say, you guys not gonna see my kids anymore. And many people are demanding Saucy Santana apologize. But hey, if he apologizes, it's not going to be genuine. It's not going to be sincere, because you only apologizing because the stuff came out, what you said. It's not like he came at first and said, you know what, I was talking crap about a lot of people's kids. I was talking crap about a lot of people's and I have grown from them. Nope. So If he do apologize, it's not going to be sincere anyway. And it's not to blame the parents, but whatever impression you put out there, whatever image you put out there for you or your children, that's what people are going to stay with. Imagine when you see people who are dressed nice, their hair look nice, and then they have their kids look their hair not done, or their clothes dirty, or they not as nicely dressed or hair nicely done as the parent. That stays with you. You don't think you remember, say, wow, look how nice she look, and look how the kids look. That's gonna stay with you. And then it doesn't matter if the person was dressed real nice, they was coming out of a nice car, they live in a nice neighborhood, you still remember that negative image. That's why we have to be careful of certain images that we put out there, because nobody is above a negative image, and nobody is above a first impression. Whatever first impression, whether good or bad, that's what's going to stick with people. And just because you started off with a first impression, people say, oh, but her hair always used to be done before. But after a while, she kept on coming out with the hair undone. And that's why people like Saucy Santana and all the other people had stuff to say. They already had stuff to say because they were talking about the features and different things like that. But that was something that shouldn't even been there, because you might have talked about her hair, her nose, or whatever they be saying, but the hair topic wouldn't have been there if that image, every time they come out, they kept on coming out with her hair undone. They kept on coming out with her hair undone. So that's why people like Saucy Santana, and it was not only him, it was many people that had something to say about this little girl's hair. And years down the line, still being said. This topic is still being talked about, still being brought up. But anyway, that's all I had to say on this situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.